Okay, I'm going to do a quick video here because I'm losing light. Well, camera adjust, but it's getting dark quick. So, and I don't mind working in the garage, but coolant all over the floor. Yeah, that I don't think they'll appreciate that very much. Okay, really quickly, I ended up putting back the stock heater control valve. There's no clogging at all. It's a little sticky, and I freed it up with a little silicone on the plunger, and that's not the issue. I also flushed the heater core, and I now have heat, but not extremely warm like I would want. But I'll tell you what I think people should look for. And just in case this might help people, I figured, what the heck? Okay. Now, as many people with the older Yodas can testify, these levers are just notorious for the linkage just getting all caught up. And I think as soon as you start, messing with stereos and, I don't know, adding switches, things like that, it starts to, it might add to the problem, but I think it's just the age. 23, 24 years. I had buddies with S10s that lasted like 3-4 years, and the door handle started falling off and stuff. So I guess it's pretty good. We just get spoiled with these, right? Get some light here. Okay, these levers. Now, obviously the lower right is for any, I think it's 85 through 88, or at least, this one controls hot or cold. You can't see that except for the little red there because the thing's all busted up, but I figured, I'm not even going to bother fixing it until I figure out what's going on with these cables. Now you can see in there, if you look closely, a little blue housing to a cable right there. That cable is attached, in fact, to that lever. It controls the heater control valve. However, this link on the other side, on the bottom, runs off this cable. This long one. It turns into a black cable at the bottom of that, on the other side of this lever, right there, and runs on this down here. I started pulling on this lever, and it was giving me quite a bit of action in this cable, which is obvious to me. It's binding. So I went down here, and there is your heater box, all that stuff, and that cable that comes around and goes to the bottom of the box. Wait, this is a little difficult. And you can see where it links up right there, right? All I had to do was push that all the way, and it opened and heat just started pouring in. So I'm thinking, God, people should at least check this first, because it's not that flushing the heater core and all that is super dangerous or whatever, but if you damage it with high pressure air or something like that, it is a pain. You would have to bypass it, and you'd have no heat at all for a while. So check that and pull that cable. I can't really show with holding the light and the camera, so you can see hopefully what I'm talking about. Just pull that, open the gate to the heat to let the heater core, there's a gate in there, I guess, or whatever. I'm going to look into it a little more. The book just really stinks on this, and it should show you, I'm hoping to find out. You should find, or you might find, that it's not opening all the way. So that worked for me. My head's upside down if I sound funny, sorry. Starting to sound like a smurf here. Yeah, I just pulled on the cable by hand, and it opened. And now I have heat again. So that's a good thing. That's one thing out of the way. I'm planning on doing some hot springs in the snow and up in the Sierras, and that ain't going to work. I cannot possibly go without heat. So there's that. And like I said, I didn't put the new 91 control valve in because I'd have to drill into the firewall, all that. I ran out of light. I'm just
not going to have time for that right now. So there she is. She's coming along. Obviously on a hill. My front end comes up a little bit, but in the rear, when it's on level ground, it's actually exactly the same clearance from top of wheel well to top of wheel to top of fender. And everyone knows the 4Runners are cut much higher, like I think 3 inches higher in the front. So that's getting on a tangent there, aren't I? But there it is with the lights on and hooked up and everything. Got both my tow hooks on and cleaned up everything and painted it. I'm going to be pulling the probably the entire front end apart, or much of it anyway, to recondition the IFS. And so I just wanted to update everybody, and I really appreciate everybody's help and input and all that. And I'm sorry I've been just so busy over the holidays as a chef. You know, it's not friendly to free time as far as my profession. So anyway, it's still clean, no leaks, and running really well. Tiny bit of a miss, but I think it's just the cam. It's not really a miss, more of a loping, like a boom, boom, like every few seconds, so, or a couple seconds. So that's the deal. Like I said, I don't think even if I replace the heater control valve with the other one, the later model, which is plastic, and you know, obviously it's straight flowing. There's no like. This one has a strange, you know, the hose comes off of it here and at an angle, but it's clean in there. I looked inside the plastic and the pit, 3-fin little circulating thing. Once you open it, it starts to spin, I believe. Keep the water moving. And anyway, it's not the greatest design, I agree, and I might end up changing it, but it would take a little bit more work because the holes here don't line up with the cable, and I don't want it just hanging there. Obviously I'd have no resistance and I'd be pushing on the cable and it's just pushing against the hose, so that wouldn't work either. Now I'm just going to burp it and take a ride, burp it again, and see how if the heater keeps working. I did flush it, so I can't say it had nothing to do with it, but what you want to do is pull this hose off here. If you don't have a flush kit, then you probably have to go all the way down to here. All this nightmarish crap, I would just replace the hose or part of it, but you can see it's one of these Toyotas formed. And so you could pull it right off the core, I guess, but I wouldn't. I'd pull it off of here if you have a flush kit or not. Pull it off that pipe, that return pipe, and then that's how you back flush it. You want to flush it through this hose, the one on the left, to the one on the right, and from the passenger side one, you want to put the water in that one and let it come out the other one for a little bit. I did it for a little bit. I plugged both the hoses on where I pulled them so that it would so that I wouldn't suck a bunch of air in. So I went and got some caps that I have in the garage and plugged it off. I'm losing light here, sorry. And so you'll have it come out of there. Then you have to remove you don't have to remove the heater control valve. It was kind of a pain to get that little shorty hose off of there, but I did because I was going to replace the control valve. But then you have it come out of there into a bottle or something. I put a little tea and had another hose running down into a bottle from here, and then I back flush it the other way. So you're supposed to go back and forth a few times, but the first time through the passenger side, out the other side. And I just used water. I was afraid to use too high pressure of air or something like that. 23 years, you know. So there she is, still running, like I said. And thanks again, Yoda Tech.